Good evening, Star Wars players. Hello out there in internet land. I am tournament advocate Chris Schoenthal coming to you with a Jawa Cup top 8 stream. We have Stubbly, the top seed of the top 8, and AJ, who is his opponent, not the bottom seed, but we randomized top, bottom, and four bottom. Top 4 and bottom 4. Good evening, James. Can you hear me? Hoping the sound is working as intended. So Connor chose to play light side first. So he will be playing No Idea against AJ's Thrawn objective. A great tactician creates plans. So we're going to jump right into the action here. Obviously, this matchup is going to be a lot about space battles. Thrawn not really known for having a strong ground package for fighting. It's got a lot to hold a site with a solid AT-AT plan, but maybe not great for fighting at interior sites such as the data vault here, or potentially here at the Dark Side 2.0 with all of the spies that No Idea has. So my guess is that we'll see a lot of space action, and then on the ground is going to be more maneuvering, spies going to different non-battlegrounds once Connor's established, things like that. But looking forward to a good match here. We will be playing both games of this match tonight. So immediately following this game, we'll have the result and then move on to the second half of the match. So we see from AJ, he's starting Imperial Arrest Order instead of Code Clearance. So we'd expect to see some more 2 ability Imperials rather than 3 ability Imperials in this build. And we see him get his system out right away. And Thrawn is probably going to go to... Well, I don't know. I don't know where I'd put Thrawn here. Do you put him to Scarif right away? Okay. That's kind of what I thought might happen. Stops any sort of quick flip from the No Idea deck. Obviously, the first turn of the Thrawn deck is usually pretty scripted, just to get Thrawn and his Star Destroyer out. There's not a lot of wiggle room from a force perspective. Going to see a lot of non-battleground docking bays on both sides here. Just all sorts of transiting around. Probably not a lot of transit. Connor does have 2 docking bays, which I think a lot of the No Idea lists recently have been cutting down to 1, so it's interesting to see them both. Here we have the new Jyn Erso, replacing the undercover spy Jyn as No Idea's go-to, because she has a lot of sweet text, adding battle destinies with Stardust and drains, so she will be a very important card to get out early. And like I said, Connor doesn't really fear a beatdown here at the Data Vault early, because the Thrawn deck's not known to have a lot of ground characters that can go inside and fight. There's no lightsabers in the deck, things like that. And we see they kind of are switching roles here, going to each other's planets, with No Idea jumping to Lothal. That will give the light player another icon, but it is a drain -1 there, because we don't have any of the rebel ships there. Welcome in, Livin' 4 Games. So we see Stubbly doing his used pull here. Chat points out that Jyn also prevents spies from being choked by Darth Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, which is one of the few tricks that potentially a Thrawn deck could have to remove characters outside of attrition and battle damage. So that's going to be a tough nut for AJ to crack as well. And Stardust moved over, so things kind of proceeding in these first couple turns as is commonly expected here. A lot of shields on the table already for turn 1. We got 3 for light and 2 for dark. Not entirely sure what the Goldenrod shield was for. There's not a ton that's free in that deck. Thrawn's certainly not free on there, so I'm not sure what that was about, but there was probably a reason that I am not smart enough to think of. You see the drain of 2 and the stack on the art card. Chat brings up that it does point out Blizzard 8, but I don't think we'd see Blizzard 8 quite this early in the game. I think the Thrawn deck would be more dedicated to going to space and trying to control that arena. But it could be for Blizzard 8 concerns, and maybe you just don't have a lot of better shields in this matchup to play. So that might be the answer. AJ giving up a verify, no Lothal site present, which is what I assume AJ was searching for here, the Lothal 2/2. Or perhaps just checking his deck for other purposes, but he did have the Endor shield if he wanted to do that, so presumably he was looking for that 2/2 and missed it. We see Kurgi get flashed for the Thunder Flare here. We'll see if he joins Thrawn or if he's going to go at the Rebel Transport, and he does. So we're going to see probably a battle here from AJ, but no, but Stubbly has the barrier. I've been playing a little Thrawn myself, and I've really been enjoying the Kurgi Thunder Flare interaction. Aside from just being a powerful combo, it's a very large ship, poised for pretty cheap, and you can see it's got good stats. It's up to 11 power here already. But also, Captain Kurgi has a special place in my heart as a John Anderson virtual card. Further has the text that lets the top card of the deck get revealed, as chat points out, to do some ping damage, because there certainly are a lot of rebels that Kurgi could reveal in the No Idea deck, of course. And we see Thrawn coming over to reinforce. Light probably going to have to run away from Lothal at this point, but that is only going to be a drain of 1 and a stack of 1 for Dark next turn. We see the Rebel 3PO with parts showing, Van and Willard going to work. Always good to get that rolling early. And a drain of 2 at the data vault, and then a ping of 1 with Stardust. So Light's going to jump ahead in the damage race a little bit here. It'll be interesting to see if Connor's strategy is to put out the beach, or if he's planning to save the beach and just go to the 2/2 and the 1/1 and play on the Lothal sites with a lot of his characters, and just leave the vault kind of minimally protected. Like I said, there's not going to be a lot of fear of attack there. There goes one of the aforementioned DVD lots off the top. And Stubbly's presumably going to give up a verify here. I don't think he's got a third non-battleground docking bay. He does have a third non-battleground docking bay. Wow. Okay. That is a lot of docking bays. That's that kind of leans me toward believing that he's probably going to take the second route that I talked about and kind of take over the Lothal sites and not plan to pull the beach at all, because he wants the docking bays out for activation. But we'll see. We'll see. Stubbly got 12 active, and there's a lot of cheap rebels and cheap spy rebels in his deck, so we could see even deployment to multiple sites here, depending on how frisky he's feeling. Or he might just back up this space and try and pick a fight, but that seems unlikely. My guess is he's going to be running away here. So we see Cassian going onto the Rebel transport, who can, of course, cancel a destiny once per game if Stubbly got a character in his lost pile, which I don't believe he does yet, but I'm not sure. We do see the Hujiks in the lost pile for Stubbly, so that's going to be something he's going to have to be cognizant of. But, of course, as I say that, he immediately retrieves it. So he knows that Hujiks could be a pivotal card and is going back, and we see a rebel, so everything I just said is wrong. So just a runaway and draw turn here for Stubbly. Be interesting to see if AJ has another system that he activated in addition to that 2/2, or whether he's fully capped on locations here. So we see the drain 1, stack 1 from Thrawn. Stacking a... So far we have a escape pod combo and a Antilles maneuver stacked on the art collection. We do see Kurgi peeking and not... Oh, he did hit a... No, he did not hit a rebel there, so no force loss there. Thank you for the subscription, Dan. That's 54 months. As chat points out, that'll be another milestone to get him a special foil that you can get only by subscribing to the PC Twitch channel here. So AJ used the Advanced Projects Lab to try and search for, presumably, Arlinda Price. But again, missed, so that's the second verify that poor AJ's had to give up this game. Not ideal. This is the first match of the top 8 of this Jawa Cup. We will be streaming all the matches. I know there's several this weekend. Information on the schedule has been posted in the Jawa Cup forum, so check those out if you missed this game, or if you're watching this on YouTube in the next couple days and want to see more exciting Jawa action. And then we see both Star Destroyers pursuing the Rebel transport. Again, very minimal deployment this game. Both players kind of feeling each other out, not doing a lot of extra deploying, no unnecessary cards on table. Scott pointing out in chat that there was no Gravity Shadow there. That is a fun card. I'd like to put that in Thrawn. I have not found room for it. But I do play I've Lost R2 in mine, so that's a nice old school nod there. Stubbly pulling the Hujix that he retrieved last turn with his escape pod combo, so he's got that rolled up. AJ going to use Imperial Code Cylinder to peek at the bottom card of any pile. You don't often see that use of the Code Cylinder, but I guess if he's just trying to cycle it to draw more cards without getting hit by the soft cap created by the drop and thrown back shields, maybe that's what he's going for there. I see another Drain 2 Ping 1 at the data vault here in the control phase. So Stubbly incrementally pulling ahead here. AJ losing a restraining bolt that's probably not going to come into play this game, so that's probably a nice card to peel for him. Although Imperial Enforcement is the opposite of a nice card to peel for him. I think he was probably looking for that card. So that'll be a bummer for him. Now I imagine Stubbly's going to give up a Verify on this Insurrection pull. If he has 4 docking bays in his deck, I will be truly impressed. There's the Verify. And we'll see if this turn brings us any more action, or if the cat and mouse game will continue. In addition to the Jawa Cup that we're in the final throes of here in the cut rounds, the GMPC is continuing at pace. We just moved on to the round of 64, so half the field has been eliminated, and we're going to see another half go in the next week or so. Lots of exciting match play happening, so be sure to follow all the results on the forums, and hopefully we'll get some of those games streamed as well. Stubbly continuing to go to space with the OG Luke Skywalker Virtual, jumping on the transport currently as a passenger, but I imagine in the move phase he'll replace someone as a pilot so he can retrieve. We see Chirrut come down to the Imperial Complex as one of those many spies that I talked about in the No Idea deck. And we see, looks like some moving around of people already here in the move phase. Stubbly moves Cassian to passenger slot, and Rey to passenger slot, and Luke to pilot slot, and Rey back to pilot slot for some reason. I guess that could have been a misclick, I guess. And then runs the transport away. So again, Connor staying alive in space while continuing to push a bunch of damage on the ground, continuing to cycle through his deck with Van and Willard. And AJ is strongly prompted to act here. I would say he's firmly on the back foot at this point and will need to make some moves to try and make something happen. Unfortunately, all of Light's characters, as I mentioned, are at interior sites, so his walkers not going to be effective in combating that, but he may need to counter with a ground spread of his own, playing the 2-2 and putting a walker to both the 2-2 and the 1-1, and hoping that the additional forfeit from IAO will let him survive and continue doing stuff in space. Although the Thrawn deck is somewhat of a balanced deck, there are usually not that many Star Destroyers in the deck either, and he's got 2 out, and maybe he has 2 more, maybe he only has 1 more. So with the 3 systems that are on the table, he may need to spread there as well, as opposed to continuing to chase the Rebel transport around to futilely block that drain. We see Ozzel trying to match up for a Death Squadron Star Destroyer, and we have that and the Vengeance going down in front of Leia's Rebel transport. So there's our 3rd Star Destroyer that I was just mentioning, and another barrier from Connor. So that's not going to get a battle through, and the chase continues. This feels like something of a Coyote and Roadrunner situation here, where Connor's just going fast and moving around, and the kind of less mobile fleet of the Thrawn deck is going to have to get kind of lucky to be able to take him out of space here. We do see Mara Jade with Saber coming down to the data vault, so Connor perhaps regretting his barrier at this point, as Mara will be able to probably clear out the data vault here. Assuming the swing hits. I don't believe we have any immunity down here, yeah, so if the swing hits Vanden, oh, he's just going directly for Jyn with the swing. Objective not flipped, so unless Connor had a sabotage, which it appears he doesn't, Jyn is going to get hit with the lightsaber, and then the site's going to clear with Mara's Battle Destiny. Now, Light is going to get 2 because of Jyn, so that's something from Connor's perspective. I don't think there'll be any overflow. You have to get, I guess, 2 Destiny. We'll see. So that's a 3. So 8 power for Dark. So Light's going to need some good draws to drop any overflow here. So my guess is it's just going to be a clean site clear, and Stardust is going to go back to the data vault. Oh, we see Connor drawing the beach for Destiny, so that's one of the downsides of leaving it in your deck, is sometimes that happens. Not that there's really any consequences for it for Connor at this point, but in other circumstances that could be a bad thing. And we do see AJ had to peel there. Peel 1 card, so better than a sharp stick in the eye, as they say. Oh, sorry, that wasn't a peel. That was the Jyn ping. Jyn does 1 damage when she leaves play. So, yes. That was not an overflow. That was an oversight. AJ playing coward, so Connor's not going to have that drain here this turn, although probably still not an easy way to clear that out for him. So presumably Connor's going to go back to the vault with a few characters here and then continue running the transport around the galaxy while his rebels drain at the data vault and ping with Stardust. Really even game in terms of force here. AJ has 25 down and 8 in hand, and Connor has 26 down and 8 in hand. So still anyone's game, but I do think the tide could turn in Connor's favor depending on how these next few turns go. Let me see Melshi. Let me see Corporal Powell. Kind of surprised that Melshi didn't pull another trooper there. Oh, and we see Rogue One and Wedge Rogue Squadron Leader going after Thrawn, so that we might see a battle from Connor here in space, which is not something that necessarily happens a lot. No, he's just going to reinforce. But now he has 2 ships running around, so AJ will need to commit even more to following and stacking. And Connor's going to put another pilot on that Rogue One via ship docking, so Wedge RSL's text is turned on. And be able to cancel some destinies since they are now rogue pilots. Let's see, who was it? Oh, it was Luke that moved over. Sure, that makes sense. Let me see, fanfare being played to go get lost in space for AJ, presumably. Yep. So in case Thrawn does die, he won't be gone forever. Let's see what tricks AJ has up his sleeve this turn. He's going to get the drain of 1 in. If he wants it, we'll see. Starting out with the Kurgi activation here. Revealing the top of Stubbly's deck is Bodhi Rook, and Bodhi Rook is placed in the loss pile by Connor as the 1 force loss. Does it have to be? I don't think it has to be, right? Oh, yeah, it does not have to be. AJ once again searching using the objective for the 2-2, but searching fruitlessly. Whether that's intentional or not, I'm not sure. Presumably AJ is going to at least somewhat back up the Chimera here, whether that's just by moving the fleet back over or adding pilots to it. see a force push from AJ, so maybe now we'll see the 2/2, because it essentially nets +1 activation and pulls that 2/2 out of his force pile if that's where it's stuck. So 2/2 and a walker wouldn't be that surprising a play from AJ this turn. There we have I've lost R2, knocking out the hyperdrive on Leia's Rebel Transport. So maybe that's what he force pushed for. We'll see if the sight comes out or doesn't. But that'd be an interesting play if that's what he force pushed for, and he's forcing the action in space by knocking out that hyperdrive and then moving his fleet over in front. Mahdi coming down to join Thrawn on the Chimera. Still powerful. Where's Mahdi here? Yep. So he's giving +2 power and +1 immunity. So this thing's immune less than 7 now, I believe. Still 6. Okay. But not as good as it would be in a code clearance build. Not forfeiting for 8, obviously. We'll see if that comes into play. And I guess we're not going to see the 2/2 this turn, as General Veers has come down to fight hand-to-hand against Chirrut. Presumably there's a command involved in here somewhere to clear him with a Battle Destiny. There it is. We see the command. We'll see if Stubbly decides this is the grab or not. It's not grabbed anything yet, and it is. So AJ is trading fairly efficiently here. I was able to 2-for-1 here, and then here it's going to be an even 1-for-1. So that's good for him, at least, to stem the bleeding a bit and keep Connor from just running all over the table. And presumably we'll see the rest of the fleet join their Grand Admiral now. Oh, we're going to see a battle in space. So AJ is pretty confident that he's got enough going on now that this is going to be enough. So he does play History Philosophy to add 2 to his Destiny. So he's going to get 2 draws +2. And then we see an Emperor, which is obviously a good draw of 6, which is canceled by Wedge RSL. And then we see a 2. So he's got a total of 4. So he's at 20. To Stubbly's 14 and a draw upcoming. So Connor's going to use Cassian's text and cancel that last 2. So he will not be at 20. He will be less than that. And then Connor draws a 4. So he's at 18 and 4. So it doesn't crack the immunity. But there's no immunity for Connor to deal with either because all of his Battle Destinies were canceled. And is there something here? I don't recall what, but something might be canceling his immunity, so he actually had to lose Mahdi to the attrition. I don't recall what card that is, but something is causing him to not have his immunity here. And we see Lost in Space getting Mahdi right back aboard. Oh, chat saying it was just the battle damage that was why the Mahdi exchange happened. It was not attrition. It was just the. That's fair. Now we see the fleet move over. At least one, maybe both. Probably only needs one, and then spread out to scare, if that makes sense. We'll see what Connor has to say about this space situation that he's got himself into here. Scott did call I lost R2 earlier in the game as a card that could be impactful, and he was right. So we see a drain of 1 and a ping of 1 at the vault. Jin no longer there adding to the drain. And Luke retrieves the Chirrut that just got battled away. Scott suggesting that maybe the play here is to load up the Rogue One with all the survivors of Leia's Rebel transport and just plan to gick that ship away. But Connor's going to stay and fight, it looks like. He's got Han Chewie and the Falcon. Coming down to add a power destiny and a bunch of power and forfeit to the battle. So we're going to see a good old-fashioned brawl here at Kashyyyk. Jiren Webb getting added to the stack at the data vault. Subtracts from opponent's total battle destiny at his site with a rebel leader, so we'll see if that comes up, but presumably it's just more forfeit and more things to make it tougher for something like another Mara or something like that to clear. We know there aren't any non-Imperial shenanigans because we saw enforcement earlier, so everything AJ plays is going to be Imperial in some form or fashion. So no battle from Connor in an offensive sense, but certainly intending to stay and fight at Kashyyyk, and we'll see if AJ has anything to reinforce his forces and continue this fight, or if he has to run away himself now. We see the drain of 2 over at Scarif, so AJ getting some damage through, and the Admiral's order, so if he gets another copy of Veers down on a walker or something similar, that could be helpful. This will also add to the immunity of those Star Destroyers. Tor and Far coming in from Antilles maneuver, so the total battle destiny there will be +2. Presumably she's on the transport. She is. So that's kind of cancels out the immunity added by the attack position. AJ trying to get the 0 out of his deck, presumably, by searching for the 2/2, and finally finds it. So Lothal is now completed as a planet. Will this be a battle or will this be a staring contest? We will find out soon. Just to recap for anybody tuning in late, we do have 2 5s stacked on the art card, so it will be just the power +3 bonus. We see a third 5 stacked, a second. Oh, sorry, that was unstacked. So, yes, he is using the escape pod combo with the art card to add 3 to his total power. And we're just going to get some destiny here. So 3 power destiny for Light, being able to retrieve 1 with make 10 men feel like 100. Scott hoping for an old school lateral damage overwhelm combo. I don't think we're going to see that here, but I like the thought. I miss those cards. So AJ drawing a trample. Just going to get canceled by Wedge RSL. And a History Philosophy Art for a total of 5 for his Battle Destiny. And Light's going to get 1 draw of R2 Brave Little Droids, a 6. So that plus Torrin Far and something else there is making it +1. But AJ has the Furry Fury, which is one of the risks you run when you play HCF. So his Battle Destiny and Attrition are going to be reduced by the Destiny draw of 4 and 3, so a total of 7. So it's as if Stubbly drew a 2 there, which is not ideal. AJ wins the battle, gets to restack a card, and Connor will have to soak up 8 battle damage here. So he loses a Rebel Transport from reserve deck and then forfeits Cassian. So that's our 8 battle damage. So slowly whittling Connor's Space Force down. But Torrin Far getting that Cassian right back. So a lot of ping retrieval in this No Idea deck between Luke Skywalker V, 10 men, Torrin Far sometimes. So that tends to be able to wear the Dark player down. You can see AJ's down to 1 card in hand. I expect he's going to draw some cards here at the end of his turn. After maybe moving this Star Destroyer over, just realizing that that's going to be, Kashyk's going to be what the game is about. So he switched Vengeance and Thunder Flare. So he's still going to have that drain going, but he is going to have that extra ping from Vengeance if he wins the battle, which so far he has been doing well. Chat pointing out that sometimes there's a Weather Vane involved in these No Idea decks too. We'll see if that's something in Connor's range or not. So Ray doing her job refilling Connor's hand as usual. See the drain 1, ping 1 at the vault. Let's see what AJ loses. Trample, which makes sense because I don't think walkers are really going to be a threat this game. And Tarkin's Orders, which actually is one that he probably wants back. That one kind of hurts. We get the Luke retrieval of the second copy of Rebel Transport, which 3 Destiny. It's not a bad thing to have around. I don't know if this one's ever going to die, but we'll see. See some forfeits stacked at Kashyk here with Lieutenant Blount. So we can soak 6 for Connor here, if and when the next battle occurs. Almost assuredly when. And Connor restacked another 5. Okay. Oh, and we see Jin is back here. Not at the data vault this time, but over here at the 2-0. And so she is not enlarging for me, but that's all right. She'll be, there we go. Stardust has to be on her, so that she's not going to have the drain +1, but she will be able to add a Battle Destiny there. Meanwhile, we see the space battle, 31 power, 2 draws for Dark, and we see Dark Time being played to prevent any cancel or modification, so no Wedge RSL shenanigans. That was a good card for AJ to find here. Stubbly draws a 5 for his power destiny. And that R2 for his battle destiny. So big 9. I assume AJ doesn't have a second Furry Fury here, so that 9 will probably go through. And we see a 2 and a 3. So 36. So Dark will not win this battle, so he won't get the Vengeance ping. And Dark will have to soak 9 forfeit, which is probably 2 things here, I would guess. So that's looks like no idea it's actually going to work toward kicking Thrawn out of space, which is a tough ask, but looks like what we're heading towards here. And of course, Stubbly forfeits Rebel, who just gets retrieved by Torn Far back into deck. And is none the worse for wear. So once again, AJ very on the back foot here. We'll need to make some moves, maybe do some spreading here at Lothal, if he's able to. Probably is going to have to move this Star Destroyer over or concede Kashyyyk system. We're still losing double agent. That's a spicy one. Both players have a spy. You draw, and if opponent's spy is lost, the destiny is greater than 2. So a little spy versus spy action in case Dark decides to U3PO or something like that. It's always a fun card. Here we do see the Blizzard 4. See if there's a Imperial Warrior to deploy aboard. There is. It's Thrawn. Presumably going to get out here in the move phase, but good to have around. He might even move Thrawn in, or Tarkin, not Thrawn, my goodness. Move Tarkin in to the complex to fight Jyn, although obviously Connor would have first chance to respond and drop more guys there. We see Image of the Dark Lord on the data vault, so that will be a drain of 0 for now. Still the ping from Stardust, but stemming the bleeding there a bit. Notably, after all that, AJ only has 2 force saved, so between potentially moving Star Destroyers, potentially moving Tarkin, and then paying for Blizzard 4, he's not going to have a lot left in terms of refilling his hand, and may not even be able to do all the things he wants in the move phase. So Tarkin does disembark. We'll see if he stays there. AJ down to 14 down and 3 in hand. Stubbly has 19 down and also 3 in hand. So we see the Star Destroyer move over and maintenance paid for on Blizzard 4. So Stubbly is going to get this drain of 2 in and a ping of 1, and then we'll see what happens in space here. Presumably it'll be another pitched battle. AJ losing Tentacle and Blizzard 2, both from his life force. And then that Dark Time that was so handy against Wedge Rogue Squadron Leader. Tough to see that one go. I'm sure AJ was hoping to be able to redraw into that and keep looping that. But it was not to be. And again, the ping retrieval with Luke just continuing to add up. Interesting that Stubbly was searching with his objective. Might have been deciding it was time to go to the beach and spread these guys out a little bit. but was not able to find the beach. Not too surprising with so few cards in reserve deck, but it's possible he was just checking his destiny as well. You see Saw join the party at the data vault, and Baze join Jin at the 2-0. So, and Tantive joined the party in space. So, just a lot of stacking of locations he's already at, which makes sense. He's ahead. He's just going to stick to those places and dare AJ to come at him, which I'm not sure that AJ has the capacity to do with the limited life force remaining. You see Connor initiate in space. AJ studies a 5, so he'll get 3 to that battle destiny, but he does that is his last currently stacked art card. So his objective is going to flip back when this battle's over, unless he wins it. We see a 2, a retrieval with 10 men, with the rebel drawn. And a battle destiny of 3, the rebel transport. So a total of 6 for his battle destiny there, with the Ray and Torn Far bonuses. And a 2 for AJ's first, which Connor's just going to let go and then probably cancel whatever this is. Yeah, 4. That's going to get canceled by Wedge. So Dark losing the battle. AJ will flip back. Is going to have to lose something to attrition. And I think Connor is well on his way here. Now it's a matter of how much AJ wants to minimize the damage for match play, and how he's going to go about doing that. So Connor loses that rebel transport that he drew for Destiny last turn and a Chirrut from hand. We see General Veers trying to exchange punches with some rebels at the complex for the second time this game. Connor smartly leaving Cassian on top of his deck here, so he'll be able to retrieve when one of these battles happen, and he draws him for Destiny. So just continuing to. But we see Tarkin moving in, and there will not be another battle this turn, which probably is smart from AJ's perspective. I don't know if he was going to do well in either of those battles. AJ considering whether to do some further movement or draw some cards into hand here. This will at least be something of an interesting battle. Is he a leader? He is a leader, so this will be 2 draws, potentially clearing this out. do see AJ deciding to maneuver his fleet a bit. Presumably he's going to concede Kashyyyk here and spread to 2 systems and try and do some last-ditch draining to get Connor lower. Thrawn here, and then probably have somebody move over to this 1-1 as well, right? Blizzard 4 going to scoot over? Perhaps, perhaps not. Connor only has 2 cards in hand, so I think I would scoot Blizzard 4 over here. But that's just me. AJ deciding against that plan. And just... Oh, and he did not leave enough force for Blizzard 4, so Blizzard 4 goes nowhere. Just goes right into the trash can. Stubbly going to hit for 2 and 1 here. Probably chase the Chimera, the empty Chimera here with his 2 remaining movable ships. Be interesting to see if Connor initiates here, having the shot from Baze and a draw, 2 draws actually with Jin to potentially retrieve some rebels. Jedi OSU, thank you for the 32 months of support to the PC with your subscription. See Connor searching again with his objective, presumably checking his destiny for this battle here. Drawing a card with Ray. And we have Cassian coming down against Thrawn. We'll see if he has a buddy to go with him. I assume he would. Cassian has already used his once per game, so there'll not be a destiny cancel here. But obviously he could potentially take out Thrawn with by adding a friend. Oh, he's just going to do some maneuvering here. He's going to move out of the 2-0, so AJ's characters are stuck here, not doing any damage, and Thrawn's going to have to run away now that he doesn't have the safety of Blizzard 4. And Stubbly's going back to Scarif, not scared of the 2 Star Destroyers, which I guess since they're empty is probably not surprising. So Stubbly might get the late game flip here if AJ has to run away. AJ down to 6 force. So this will be one of the last few turns, and we'll see how much he can do before he has to give in. Does get the drain of 1 off. Presumably Connor will lose from hand, which he does. Don't believe he's even going to get the ping from Veers because this has to be a battleground site, right? Yep. AJ thinking through his options here. Does not have a ton to work with. Connor has 16 down at the moment. So AJ kind of weighing if 16 is the best he can do, or if another turn or two of maneuvering and scrabbling will extract a couple more cards out of Connor to keep this match a little closer. AJ confirming that he's thinking in chat, which is good. Quick recap, we have Thrawn and Ray aboard this laser transport that has no hyperdrive. We have HCF, Rogue One, with Wedge Rogue Squadron Leader and Luke Skywalker V on it over here at Scarif. We got Melshi, Pow, Jaren Webb, and Saw at the Data Vault, and Baze, Cassian, and Jin Heroic Rebel at Lothal Capital City against Thrawn. And it looks like AJ is going for the drop as Stubbly plays used interrupt to upload Han's dice or a non-maintenance Han, which presumably you will not find, to add 1 to his differential as AJ draws the remaining few cards here. So it'll be a, yep, there it is, a win by 17 for Connor. We're going to let the players have a little bit of a break here, and then we will be right back with the second game of the match. Thank you for joining us for the first one. We will see you soon. Maybe like 5-ish minutes is my guess. I'll talk to the players and double check that, but that's my guess. So stick around. See you soon.